Welcome back, guys. Hello, how are you? Welcome back to another episode. It's a new week, another exciting episode about your DSTV Premiership, your PSL news, everything that's exciting about local football at the moment. A lot of exciting things. We had a lot of games, not really a lot of games, but there were fixtures. Over the weekend, and Kaizerchiefs didn't play this weekend. They're playing tomorrow. So that's what we're going to be covering today. But before we do that, as per normal, just want to thank all the guys who have been supporting this channel. Really appreciative. I appreciate you guys and all those who subscribed or keep on subscribing or keep on watching the video until the very end. Appreciate and love you. Again, this is your boy, Walter. We're going to be covering a lot today. Talking about a lot of sad breaking news, obviously, about Pirates crashing out of the CAF. And yeah, man, but before we do that, just want to remind you as per normal, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to click on that notification bell because it helps us with the algorithm so that we can push these kind of videos to the audience or people like yourself. So yeah. Let's get to it. Where to start, man? Over the weekend, a lot of Pirates people have been crying, man. I really don't know where to start with that because I think that's the game of interest because the Sundowns game was an obvious one because already first leg they had won 4-0. So I don't want to talk about that too much, but well done to them. Kudos to them for, I think, 9th season in a row they've actually qualified for the group stages in the CAF Champions League. That's what we talk about football heritage day. Pirates, they're trying to revive the obviously the brand in terms of their continental continental, we can say their trade in terms of their brand having to play in CAF as well in the Champions League because the past season they've been playing in the Confed Cup. So this was a great opportunity for them to go back because they are also winners at one point, and they are a well-established club. I think if you had to look apart from Kaizerchiefs and Sundowns, I would say Pirates has more experience in regards to CAF. So it's just that Sundowns has in recent years has been the more the team of late that's been actually competing in that fold. Mind you, as sadly they've been knocked out by Ijuaning Galaxy, a team yase Botswana coached by coach Bafana. He was a COSAFA Cup coach, Morena Ramamboli. I think where it went wrong, if I were to just go in deep with that game or from both legs, I think the technical stuff, the technical team rather got it wrong there. I'm really disappointed myself as a fan. Like for them, for example, Uncikazi, Mandla Ncikazi has experience in CAF. He's played there before. You'd expect them to take this competition a bit more serious, or his experience would have benefited the coach in this instance. Where in the first leg, if you've seen in any competition, look at how Sundowns applies themselves. Whether they're playing the weakest team in Africa, the first leg is always important. And especially if you've got a fixture where you are playing away first, then a return fixture, then you're playing at home. If you have to now play catch up where you've lost the first leg, and they didn't really lose by a large margin. If it was 2-0, it was almost over. But 1-0, to overturn a 1-0, I'm not saying Ijuaning Galaxy is not a bad team. You can tell they are well coached and they are the current champions that side. Oh no, I'm lying. Gaborone United is the current champions. But the way they applied themselves, it showed that they gave Pirates some sort of difficulty. But they lost it in the first leg, to be fair, where they rotated a squad where they shouldn't have because they were saving some of the players for Sundowns. So could have just got in, and maybe the approach would have been wrap it up in the first 45 and second half take off all those players who you'd like to play against the Sundowns. So now there's a lot of regrets. I'm telling you that even though they wouldn't say post-match conference, he don't want to tell us much, but there was a lot of mistakes. He even admitted himself. And now we have to be blaming players, the young Mofokeng and all these guys. These guys have been playing their hearts out on their sleeves. Abu Masangai, Lipasana has dropped a bit. At least evidence came in and gave them something. Rasmus hasn't been the same. Lonjo came in from a suspension. Naya Safani. It was a below par performance for all around, but there were a few notable performances that Kapumako keeping it well. Do you understand, Guti? For me, another thing you have to notice about the rotation, how dangerous it is, especially when you're still establishing yourself. You are not a Sundowns. If you have a good 11, not a good squad. So you rotating the team may affect the synergy, the chemistry, and obviously inform Yama players or the team itself, which we have seen. Because after they lost against Ijwaning, they also lost a couple of games after that. Then the confidence has dropped. Then obviously the belief in the team has dropped. So I don't think, hence I'm saying there's a lot of mistakes they have made. Because also playing in the cup, losing, even though they've qualified, those games add. Because now maybe in terms of their psyche, it gets to them in regards to the kind of games they've been losing. Because now we have lost 4 games on the trot. And if you got that game, one game could have turned things around, I feel. So I think there, it was poor planning from them. And now they've lost out on a massive opportunity, which is the CAF Champions League. We can banter all we want, but that was a big blunder from their part. And looking at the fact that they've worked so hard, I mean, if you look at it very clearly, last season, they almost didn't have even a chance. We thought it was Super Sport all the way. They came in last minute. Kaizerchiefs were also in the running for the CAF Champions League at the time. They squandered their chances the last 5-6 games or so. And now Pirates, they really made it look good. And we all of us were actually tipping them to qualify. And they did. But now you have to get through the prelims. And they've squandered their chances. And I'm not saying that team is a bad team, but this is a team that they could have dealt with very efficiently if the planning was okay. And it shows that those players were prepared. The technical team of Joining Galaxy was well prepared, and they knew where they could hurt Ilokuzan, Pirates. I think that's my basic opinion about it, and that's my analysis. It's a sad reality. They have to go back to the drawing board. Now Pirates people want Rivero's head, and I don't think there's a cause of panic, but now they have to again work in the league to go back to the CAF Champions League, which now is going to be difficult in regards to the confidence. And also they've lost a few games that they have to catch up. You understand that I don't think they were switched on. I mean, looking at the fact that you guys went to Spain and there was a lot of money spent, and they knew that obviously playing in the CAF Champions League to qualify for the group stages, you have to start somewhere. I think they underestimated that team, and now it has come back and shot them in the foot. Because in the second leg, I didn't watch it that much, but from what I've seen, there was a lot of they did create their chances. But you see, now when you're playing under pressure, that's another thing that you must understand, that are the players ready for that kind of stage? Do you have enough quality for a squad to respond when it really matters most? And maybe some of those players know how to play when they have their foot ahead, or they're ahead in some places. And I've seen Chiefs do that against the Sundowns, but even themselves, because of that experience, it lacked somehow. They couldn't exactly get the result they needed. But Maji Pirates, for me, was disappointing was they were not really playing against a strong team. They just were technically good for that game, or for those 2 legs. Those guys were switched on, and they're highly motivated because they are playing against a big club in SA. And I think those are the things Rivera won't come back from, and then now he's threatening his job. As much as we can feel it's just banter, but probably it is a reality that they have to now start fitting in. So, sorry guys. Yeah, so that's the only thing I would have so far in regards to that Pirates game. It's a sad reality, but Pirates has been knocked out of the CAF Champions League and there's no second chances. CAF Confederations Cup this time, you can't drop to that level. So they're out totally. So the only clubs that have qualified so far is Sundowns, Sekhukhune, and Supersport. Supersport, they're going to the Confed in Sekhukhune. And the only team representing our school Champions League is going to be Sundowns, obviously. So yeah, Sundowns, I want to talk about that game. Was obvious. They went 2-0 comfortably. They won 6-0 aggregate. They keep winning games. They're not slowing down anytime soon. It was a practice match. That game came here to defend. That team came here to just to defend, to kick players. It was just terrible. So as that game, I really switched it off. I watched another game. So, so I think what we can talk about is obviously Kaizerchiefs won against Sekhukhune, the last game in the league. So league action is back tomorrow. They're playing against Cape Town City. I want to talk about the lineup because we've seen a lot of changes happening. Introduction Nagamtetwa is finally here on the last transfer kind of deal. Was good to see him though. It was very, very good to see him. I saw a different kind of midfield there. And those are the interesting things about Kaizerchiefs that you can expect this season. So, for me, looking at the lineup of Sekhukhune, I don't see the technical team changing that team because that team, we are wanting to be short. There is a bit of cohesiveness because they play good in the first 20 to 30. I disagree with a lot of people saying that in the first half, Kaizerchiefs or both Sekhukhune and Kaizerchiefs didn't play well because Sekhukhune ultimately actually scored in the first half. So you can't really excuse and say, the first half was below par. No. First half, Kaizerchiefs were the team in front. They created the chances. Castillo even tried to chip the goalkeeper for what reason, I don't know, when he had players that he can actually pass it to. So they had more of the chances. And the only chance that was clear enough for me, in my opinion, for Sekhukhune is the one that they scored. But obviously, Sekhukhune, we've had problems with them. So I just loved finally I think they're getting it right. Where we saw Dove, they kept to Forsley without Quinika interrupting us. A surprise inclusion, Ungobo. Sibang probably was rested because he's been playing all these matches, cup games and all these things. And probably some of the technical errors that he's been making is because maybe he's been overused. Maybe that's what they picked up because Bapine Bamfaga just to give him some minutes. So, that last game gave us a lot of nuggets to what to expect because I loved the midfield, how it's improving, the quickness, the sharpness that they have. More, Potani, there's still a lot to improve on. I was surprised by Kalungo Sayile this time around because he's better when he's used as a sub. It's the problem. I think the issue here is they haven't found a position for Potani, or Potani hasn't showed up. Let me just say that, and that's why he's been rotated. He's been used as a first lineup. He's busy in the sub, but it's not working out. Umodi, man, I don't know what to say about Umodi, but I think we have another parameter this time. This kind of players, there's not about coaching that they need. It's just that maybe there's it's the adjustment issue, but a lot of things that you can tell the quality that he has. We've seen him. He's a proven player. So I guess maybe for me, I would start with Shabalala on the right. Keep Modi and no Dupree. Then maybe add Oranga later on, take Dupree on the right or either side. And just give these other players a bit of time to come in. So yeah, that was the lineup. So now I want to give you my lineup and see if that's going to be the lineup that's going to be used tomorrow. So against the City, we played against the City before. They know us, we know them. So I think with the same approach, because the City is 3-5-2 sort of. So using pace on the sides is going to be critical. That's what I'm saying. If only Potano was on song, Bezos Sebenze. So I would start at the back with Msimang. I would bring him back. No quarrel with Ungobo. He's been playing well. I'm just saying Msimang gives us a bit of balance, and they've created a very, very good partnership here. And I know the clock way. I would start with Kune. I know he's not going to start, but this is my lineup, guys. I would start with E2. Kune, Dove, Frosler on the side, double pair, central back, because about Msimang, no, the clock out. Start Umtetwa. Matlo, I'll start him in Castillo. On the left, I'll still stick with Modi. Number false 9, I would say, would Dupree. Then I would go for Umtutuzi. Then I'm keeping Fagu next. Just give Uputane some minutes, maybe go 75th. That's my lineup. I mean, Umar Tamega because I want to show you something about how if we can play without Umar Teknabanja. Just an experiment. This technical team can indulge me and see what can happen without Umar. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying the system we're trying to play may not be suited for him. So Skamsebens is in areas where his energy is good, his marking ability, and some of the wasteful chances that he makes. Give him a couple of minutes. Don't give him full 90 or 75 minutes as other players. And just see the kind of magic about Castillo. They can now be more in a creative role that they can, push up front, have a lot of creative players. And then I mean, you can bring them on later on because these are kind of players we've seen that they are still a bit slow in terms of adjustment, and we still need to make sure that we have a spine, that we have a midfield that is very seamless, and we have the players who understand that role and how important it is. And if we have that, and we have someone like Ox, he's a bully, that guy. Abu Mukeke, that midfield in MTN 8, they were bullying us, and we have someone who can push back and can win 1v1s. Because Tanzania was falling most of the time. They were catching him because actually they were pinpointing him because they knew if he holds the ball, he's a holding 10. So they know if they pinch him a lot, we're not going to have those direct balls feeding our attacking players. So that's one critical thing I know that probably Utinka is going to be emphasizing, and because they know Tanzania well, I think it's not best to play him on as a first 11, bring him on as a sub when some of the players are tired and some of the technical changes have been made, because obviously application City would be different. Then we'll go out maybe for me, we've scored a goal or two, then you can add on Tanzania to add more stress and headaches to those defenders, because Abu Farideni, Abu Dihude, Lapo obviously so you've killed their psyche and their confidence. But the first 11 must be enough to make sure that they instill and apply a high pressure game and dictate the tempo. If they can dictate the tempo, if they can circulate the ball well and suffocate those players so that they can kick us and frustrate them to shoot out of the box, then we've won half of the war. And we know ECET comes from wide, they love high balls, finally super sport sort of. So we must be careful. Sinclair is a tactician. Yeah, finally no Kevin Hunt Kancane. How they play is to frustrate the other opponents, and they wait for that goal. The only key player that we have to be careful of is just Kanyiso Mai. Mina for me, I've watched City. That's the only player I think we should look out for. If we starve him of balls, he gets frustrated, he's going to be shooting out of the box, he's going to be making unnecessary runs, or you just benchmark him, then you're fine. So that's my predicted lineup for tomorrow. Just please do leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Are you guys excited for tomorrow's game? Do you think my lineup is it justified? Does it make sense? Because one point, Mukune, why I'm not against Peterson. I'm saying Ukune, if we want to build from the back, he's more composed. He doesn't make such mistakes or errors where he's being pressed or there's a high press and he has to just release the ball to their opponents. He's able to be composed and pass it well around. So we don't just throw away unnecessary balls. Peterson doesn't have that, hence why he's been making so many mistakes. Unfortunately, he's been making it where it matters most against a very good team, which was the Sundowns. But against other teams, he gets away with it because they don't do a high press like the Sundowns. We need to get used to that. and Ukune is the right person to be then show him how it's done. So that's my opinion and that's my analysis. If this, if Ichi is going to live video, Kune can do it for us, guys. He can actually help us to build from the back, and he actually is a good sweeper keeper. So he can help that defense, and he's very organized. I know he concedes, I understand that, but for me, he has a much cooler head than Peterson. Peterson is just a shot stopper for me, but on his feet, he's a bit poor. He's not the right. He doesn't have the right mentality because he wasn't developed that way, and that could be the defining factor. If only Captain Seat applies himself like that. Right, for me, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much again. Look out for another video this week. We're going to be talking about, obviously, your results on Wednesday as well. There's a lot of games playing. I'm also looking out for that. And yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you.